Kerry Washington said one time, I have a very hard time listening to people complain about not being able to catch the bus while they sit in their apartment praying to catch the bus, but they never move their feet. But if you are chasing the bus with your feet while praying to catch the bus, and the bus is not there when you arrive, then it was never your bus.
Oof. I love that.
Every great leader you admire, no matter how much success they show, has something they're still working through. Today, we're not talking about the version of them you already know. We're talking about the version they don't always show. Well, I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on the show today. So let's just sort of jump into it. I would love to know, is there anything currently going on in your life as it relates to your growth, your leadership, your business, all facets, something you're currently going through, something you are learning, an obstacle you are currently facing? Would love to sort of explore any of those things with you.
If I had to kind of narrow it down to one thing, it's kind of like a common theme. And I keep coming back to this theme of resting versus striving.
Define both of those to me in your definition.
Resting is more so identity, right? So resting in identity and submitting all my ways to the Lord.
Okay.
And striving to me is leaning on your own understanding and trying to make things happen in your own power.
So I hear you saying that there's a dichotomy you have. There's this binary sort of tension that's at odds, one of which is rest, meaning I am valuable when I am not performing.
Yes.
Striving, I must perform to be valuable.
Yeah.
Can they both be true?
I think, yes. I think that, obviously there's faith and there's works, right? So I think both are required, right? It's not like God is just going to do every single thing for me. So there is some things that I have to do, but I think that so much of culture, especially as an entrepreneur, even just for me, just being a Black woman and just living the life that I've lived, I think so much of my identity up until I got saved was leaning on my way of doing things and trusting myself because I did not trust people. And so I think when I got saved and I realized, okay, this makes so much sense. Humans are flawed. And God is that thing that I'm supposed to be leaning to. He is that firm foundation for me. And I can rest. Rest was a very hard concept for me to understand.
Does it feel difficult at times to let two things be true? That we tend to find greater safety and security in just one or the other?
I think sometimes it makes your mind easier. Like, I'm an intellectual person, so I like for 1 + 1 to equal 2 every single time. And I think sometimes when two things exist, it's hard for you to make sense of both of them and to find that balance. And I think that that's kind of the dance that I'm in right now is like,
Let's try something then. I love that. I mean, you are speaking my language.
Let's do it.
What if we never say the word balance again? And the only reason I suggest that as maybe a means for our dialogue is because this is very much Rocky's problem, but I tend to view balance like judicial scales.
Yes.
And so we're looking for the singular moment that both things that we think we can have or not have to line up so perfectly, neither one of them are important. That's how I see it. The attempt to find two things, maybe I'm a self. No one's ever told me I'm intellectual, so maybe I can't qualify myself as that. But nonetheless, I'm going to pretend I am. But if there's balance, then does either one have value? Or is the balance an attempt to make neutrality of both?
I think that the balance is, to try to make a neutrality of both. I think that they're both important. It's just like you want to have the best of both worlds at the same time.
Okay. But I think that is possible.
Yes.
But I think the best of both worlds isn't balance. It's giving both the greatest value they could both have.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be at odds.
In the right context.
Faith and works don't have to be at odds.
Yeah.
I don't think one gets rid of the other, ever. I think they're absolutely two totally separate things.
For sure.
But we like to, the proverbial we, maybe not me and you, but in general, we
Yeah.
I think we like to put things together because that way, whichever one we're doing that day that we think we're good at makes us feel right.
Absolutely.
And I think we are obsessed with being right.
For sure. Just alignment and just that feeling of knowing that we are in alignment with God's will. I think that we're constantly trying to align with God, and that is a journey within itself.
Mm-hmm. And how would you describe that? Give that to me. I would assume that a majority of our audience is not faith-driven and or is not the basis for their typical understanding.
Okay, just alignment in general,
or no. You are very welcome to give me your definition. Because this is a conversation about you, not about them.
Yeah.
When you say alignment with God, give that to me in layman's terms. Give that to me in a way that what does that mean for you on a very practical day-to-day basis?
I believe that
I like that catch right there.
I believe in God, and I believe that God has a divine purpose for every single person, and we all play a role in it. And I do think, and I believe that we have free will as well. And so it's very important to me that one day when I do meet the Lord, that I think one of my biggest fears is for him to show me all he had for me and for me to not even have touched a piece of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am super focused all the time on making sure that I'm in alignment with God's will for me and that purpose that he has placed on my life. I don't want to look back and have any regrets. I don't want to look back and have any stone unturned. I want to live a full life and be able to pass down those mindsets, those experiences, those connections, and those resources with as many people as possible, including my kids one day. And I want that to be my legacy.
We're going to do it in backwards order now. I want you to say what you said.
Okay.
But I want you to start with, I am living a life such that my legacy would be, and then tell me. Because you did what most of us, I shouldn't say most, what every human being does, is most of us talk backwards. We don't know we're talking backwards, but we do because we're trying to make logical sense of it.
That.
We go,
yeah,
I'm afraid of this and I don't want to be afraid of this. And so I think about this, which means I could think about that, which means maybe one day I'll get this.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, well, it took us 5 steps to get to that place, which means on an average day, we're only getting to step 1.5.
Ooh. I like that. Yeah.
So we never get here.
So let's start with the legacy.
So let's start with the legacy.
Okay. I am living my life in a way to where my legacy will be living a life with no regrets, taking risk, and being able to pass down those resources, those connections, and the mindsets to the people that I care about, and even to strangers all over the world.
That hits way different.
And it's so much shorter.
It's so much shorter. And you open yourself up to the opportunity that risk and stones unturned and possibilities and chances, none of what you said was driven by a result. It was driven by your action.
Yeah.
It wasn't driven by the amount that we think we're going to be able to lift. It's the fact that we lifted something heavy every day.
Yeah.
And on some days, it's very perfect.
For sure.
And on some days, we have the right shoes and we have the right grips. And we have the right bar, and we have the right weight, and we even got the confetti Nike ones because they look good for the photo. And we have I'm with you, right? Like some days everything hits. and I have found in my life, the color of the plate never determined my capacity to lift it. But I think we often, as humans, love to talk about the plate. And the shoe.
For sure.
And the chalk.
Yeah.
And the setting. And the gym. And the kind of gym. And my outfit. And my shoe. And I'm talking to myself right now. I'll be very clear with you because your boy loves a good workout outfit. Okay. So like I love a good,
yes.
And I don't think there's anything that's not wrong. That's not bad. Yeah. None of that in and of itself, I think does anything detrimental to us. But none of that picks up the weight. And so I think if we use that sort of as a framework around, go full circle back to you saying sort of this trying to find this balance of my faith, but also my effort, my rest and my striving.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that striving is not bad.
For sure.
I believe that resting is also not bad. I think the opposite side of that question for us, though, is do we always believe that resting is good and striving is good? Because I think it's easier to say, I agree they're not bad. I'm not sure, though, that I'm fully owning the fact that they're both good.
I think that for me, I have seen the benefits of striving, right? Like I was like a super mega hustler. Like I was eating up those CEO pages on Instagram where it's like, wake up at 4 before the world, right? You know, all those things. I was eating it up.
Yeah.
And
at the time, why do you think that is?
Because I really wanted to be great. Like every single fiber of my being wanted to be great. And I wanted to get there as fast as possible. So speed was the undercurrent, you know? So that was the lack of rest was the speed. I didn't want it to take until I was 50 years old. If I could get there by 30, then I would stay up all night and get there by 30.
Okay.
And so I really just was like relentless about what I wanted. I was just talking to a friend the other night on the phone. And I was talking to him about the fact that I remember when I was in college, I had wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach at the time. And I remember my first day of class, I walked in and I already finessed my way into the class. I wasn't even supposed to take that class, but I finessed my way in. And first day of the class, I just fell in love with what we were talking about. And I remember walking up to my teacher and just being like, hey, I love what we're talking about. I have this much free time. I want to be involved. I'll follow you around. I'll shadow you. Like, I just want to be around this more. And I remember talking to all the other strength and conditioning coaches and being like, this is my name. This is what I've done. This is what I do. This is where I'm at. I want to be around you guys. I want to shadow you guys. Like, that's the type of like work ethic I had. Like, I remember walking into Baylor Scott and White in Frisco, and they have a strength and conditioning portion for athletes. And I was like maybe 21 at the time. And I dressed up like I had an interview and I didn't have an interview. And I had my resumes in a folder and I was like, hey, I want to work here. So what do I need to do? What certs do I need to get? How did you get here? Because I want to be here and I want to do what you do. You know, and that's just how I was for years. And it was just striving and striving. And I remember right before I got depressed, before I got saved, I was working 7 days a week. Like I would be, you know, on Sunday, hanging out with friends and like talking to you how I'm talking to you now. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about getting back to working and how I'm wasting time right now. So even though I loved my friends and I loved all the things in my life, I just had that undercurrent so bad of just grinding until I burnt myself out. And then that was one of the few things that led to me getting depressed and just saying, I'm letting all this stuff go. So I got to where I wanted to get to, you know, like financially, as far as like social circles, all the things that I thought I wanted. Striving got me there. But I was miserable. Miserable.
What aspects of striving do you still value? Because we don't want to throw the baby out with it. Well, maybe we do. But as of right now, we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
For sure. I love a good strive.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I really value hard work. I really do.
Do you define, your words, do you define striving as synonymous with hard work?
Yes. Showing up, discipline, consistency.
And are those things bad?
No, I think they're great.
Is striving bad?
No.
We just don't want striving to exist in isolation. And so let's go full circle back to the beginning. So what is the current most difficult part about living in the tension, not balance? What's the most difficult part about living in the tension of identity and hard work?
I would say the hardest part right now for me is that rewiring. I think that sometimes even just being a woman right? Like, I think that striving had some side effects, right? I think that it had some negative side effects. I think that one of those negative side effects being not good at following, like just being so used to like being a pioneer and a leader and not knowing when is the time to turn that off and to follow. And so I think that having to convert my mind to the complete opposite, because faith is almost like the complete opposite of how I live my life. I live my life on logic. I live my life on everything adding up. And then once I get into church and I understand the gospel, now I have to rely on faith, which is the complete opposite. And so that was really hard for me. And to this day, I might find myself in moments where I'm needing to pause. And sometimes everything in me does not want to pause. And that's my flesh. And it's hard sometimes to pause and to wait on God.
What if they weren't the complete opposite?
What do you mean?
What if hard work and faith are not the complete opposite? There is an actress. She's the main actress in Scandal. And she's in 2 or 3 of Shonda Rhimes' TV series.
Kerry Washington.
Thank you. Kerry Washington said one time, I have a very hard time listening to people complain about not being able to catch the bus while they sit in their apartment praying to catch the bus, but they never move their feet. But if you are chasing the bus with your feet while praying to catch the bus, and the bus is not there when you arrive, then it was never your bus.
Oof. I love that.
And to me, there is something about that statement that means that hard work and faith, hard work and identity, rest and striving, if they are opposites, then one is only ever getting rid of the other, which to me removes you, it removes Lydia from the equation altogether. And I don't think that, this is Rocky's personal opinion, I don't think that God's intent is ever to remove us from the equation. It's to make us the correct variable in the equation.
Okay.
So to say, I'm going to have faith, which means it is what it is. If I work too hard, then I don't have faith. I would say the more I have of one, the more I do of the other. Can faith be additive? Does it have to be subtractive?
Yeah.
And maybe it's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I've heard you described, and you started with rest and striving, then you went to identity and hard work.
Yeah.
But those things sort of keep going back and forth between two things that are at odds, they can exist, to two things that might have to exist, to one thing that maybe is going to ruin the other thing. But I really like one of those things. But if I love God, I can't love the thing that I was made to do. But if I do the thing I was made to do, does that mean I don't love God? And I'm saying, I think, what if they both have to be true?
Yeah, that's good.
Are you going to get to where you want to be inside your apartment with a lot of faith that you're going to get there, but you never left?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
And I understand what you're saying. I've never been one of those people. I was the person that was chasing after the bus.
Right.
I don't have another thought about praying or nothing. I'm just running after the bus. But I think adding in the prayer, initially I was like, should I run after the bus or should I just pray for it? And I have to kind of navigate that space where I was like, okay, I got to do both.
Right.
And then when I get there and the bus is not there, I'm pissed.
I agree. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm pissed.
So am I.
It's the part about, if you're doing both, it wasn't meant for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, to me, nothing changes. Okay, we're going to go with this analogy. Pre-God, post-God. Pre-God, you're running for the bus.
Yeah.
You get to the bus, let's go, I'm on my bus.
Yeah.
No bus, this motherfucking bus.
Yeah.
Where's it at? I ran and it didn't show up.
Yeah.
Post-God. I'm running for the bus. It's there, let's go, that's my bus. It's not there. Where do I need to run to next? Because I believe there is a bus for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that space for sure. It's like navigating that space.
So it's the mindset of the result, not the initiation of my activity.
Yes.
Run every day, chase the bus.
Yeah.
Please. If that's your bus, if you believe there's a bus for you, go find your bus.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear a single word out of you if you don't get out of bed. don't talk about your bus.
That's me. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I think like that.
So we're going after the bus.
Yes.
Sometimes, there it is. Get on that bad boy. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Some days we sit at the bus stop for a long time, and many buses come by. None of them are on the route we're going for. The belief that I might go back home today, wake up tomorrow, and try it again, to me, is faith that there is a day that my bus is going to arrive.
Yeah.
But every day, I'm going to run towards that bus stop.
I think that where I'm at in that whole process, I think I'm at the point now where I will keep going after the bus. I'll keep going after the bus. And now that faith has been added to my life, there's certain things that I have not walked through with the Lord yet. There's certain aspects of him that he's shown me, and there's aspects I've still yet to learn. And I think that where I'm at right now is if the bus doesn't show up, and it doesn't show up for a week, I am that person right now where I'm always looking internal. And it's probably an entrepreneur thing where you're constantly evaluating things to see what you can do better.
Sure.
Right? So I think that sometimes that is something that I do with myself too much, right? Where I'll just be like, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have done better? And that's a great thing to have. But sometimes, too much of anything is bad. Right. So I think that if the bus didn't come for a week, for example, I'm looking at my efforts and I'm like, I'm running after this bus every day, or maybe I could have ran a little faster. And then I'm looking at my faith and I'm like, Lord, did I do something wrong? So I think that I am results driven. Actually, I think that I am very focused on results. And I think that,
me too.
I am.
I'm not, I want to be very clear. I am not making a case at all that results don't matter.
But people have more, there was this quote where it was talking about how if you train to, if there's a man that trains to walk a marathon, he doesn't go as far as the man who loves to run. And I always think about that quote where I'm like, I think it's so refreshing when I hear people that enjoy the journey, because it's so much more of a positive experience.
I agree.
And I think that when you are results driven, you go through a lot more mentally than people who just enjoy the journey and they just wake up every day and they're just excited to just live their lives, to put on their clothes, to get ready for the bus, to make their coffee for the bus, I think that those people have a better experience. And so I'm kind of shifting to not being so focused on results, to where if it doesn't come or whether it does, it doesn't hinder my faith. Because sometimes for me in my walk with God, I can get to these points where it's like, okay, God, all right, the results are not resulting. So something's wrong. Either am I not doing this right? Did I not fast? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? And I'm evaluating all these things because of the result.
Right. And maybe the answer to all of your questions were yes.
Maybe so.
And maybe it just wasn't your bus. Do you need faith for something you are certain of?
No.
So why do we need faith?
True.
If faith is not needed in certainty, that tells me, if the math is mathing, faith is only needed in uncertainty.
That's the part that I know I struggle with. Kind of before, I used to find comfort in certainty. So that's what I mean when I say 1 + 1 = 2.
I'm with you.
I can sleep good at night when I know that something is certain. Numbers are certain. Going to the gym is certain. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that when you go, it's going to have a good result.
Running really fast to be at the bus when the bus said it was going to be there should also be certain.
Yes. And it's anything that's calculated is certain, but faith is uncertain. And that is the part that really challenges the way that I processed everything. And so that was the aspect where I was like, wait, you're telling me that I'm supposed to just expect that this bus gonna be here? Ain't no schedule. Ain't nobody tell me nothing. I'm just supposed to get ready for this bus, not knowing nothing.
Okay, I'm with you. But let me go back though, because I think we're onto something.
Yeah.
But again, my 2 cents. But I heard you go from one dichotomy to the other.
Mm-hmm.
You went from, I would rather, it's either get to the bus and it's on schedule and it works, or I ran really hard and it wasn't there, which must mean I was wrong.
Yeah.
There's not room for faith in either one of those. Because either one of those, you're still in control of. This one you were in control of and you got the result you wanted. This one you were in control of and you didn't get the result you wanted. And you didn't get the result because you were in control and you didn't do the right parts.
Yep.
Neither one of those have room for you.
What do you mean they don't have room for me?
Because neither one of those account for the fact that you are in fact a human.
Yeah.
Neither one of those account for the fact that you said rest is not the inactivity of my body. Rest is this ability to recognize the value of my identity.
Yes.
Therefore, both of these options have no identity. They have a result.
Good. Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, as a proponent, as somebody who, and maybe this is more for me because I want to make sure I feel like I'm right. And Lydia, I don't know. I just know that like I love hard work and I love effort and I love showing up and I love being a person that somebody can rely on.
Same.
And I have yet to, in my own journey, I have yet to find a place that I would look to any human being that I have experienced or a person who I have read about historically who had a faith that I admired that did not go to bed tired every day. And not tired like to wring myself out such that I am worthless. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm value, rest, the capacity to be full. Service is the overflow of who I am. Sacrifice is the loss of self. I don't think we're called to have a loss of self. That doesn't make any sense to me. In my journey, I don't think we're called to sacrifice. We're called to serve. But how can I serve you if I have nothing to overflow to give? That I'm just cutting off my own leg to hope that you will love me until the next day I have no legs. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I want to work hard. I want to have effort. I want to have energy. I want to show up every day to give it whatever I have that day. And some days, give me the 315, let me rep it, and I am crushing. And some days, 135 is all I've got in the tank. And both of those days are both valuable. They're both equal and they both mean the same thing because I showed up and I gave everything I had that day to do that thing. But if my value is equated to the 315 day and the 135 day is a waste, then there's no room for me. There's only room for my result.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Join us next week for the part 2 conclusion of our conversation, and don't forget to join us this month for our leadership training. You can register you and your team at rockygarza.com/confidence.